You have to purposefully engineer your life away from the American way to not do what society's doing. And that's hard because there's all these pressures around it. And there's a really crazy bohemian world out there of people doing crazy, awesome things that they love. And sometimes you lose touch with that world. It's unfortunate, but it happens. When you tap into people who travel, you're tapping into this like different value system of people who don't care about just paying bills their whole life. They want to like learn something about the world and see something and break out of their shell. They're a product of their environment, right? And the people that are traveling are saying it's okay to move around the world. It's okay to see the sights, do interesting things that are kind of crazy. I mean, back in the day, people couldn't really do that, but now they can, to some extent. I think I just want to save up and keep traveling. It's what's inspiring to me. It's awesome. It's actually everything. Traveling is so awesome. So you want to see the Oregon coast?
All of it.
Or the California coast?
I don't know, what are you thinking?
Well, we have to make up our mind.
Can't we see the whole coast?
It's a very slow drive. How about you look at a map? We could see the coast in the morning.
Yeah, that's what I want to do.
So should we drive all night and see the coast in the morning? Do you want to go to the Oregon coast? Tell me right now.
Oregon coast.
Okay. I left the Jehovah's Witnesses because, well, there's a million reasons, but the primary one was it didn't work. It wasn't a functional religion to me. They're like, someday when you die, this will all be better. You know, we could all say that at the end of the day, right? 'Cause we're all gonna die, but that's not a solution. It's not a working solution. I felt a lot of pressure on me. The first pressure was the pressure to get baptized. It was my mother that really sealed the deal. She said that Armageddon was right around the corner, and if I didn't get baptized and I knew that Jehovah was the real God, that I would be immediately destroyed when Armageddon would come. She basically gave me the death penalty. It scared the hell out of me, so I got baptized. So I was kind of pressured into auxiliary pioneering because it was the last days and you had to like make a big effort for Jehovah, and they had this tract that they were passing out. It had the most dramatic, it was like a sky at night with lightning bolts shooting out of it. You opened it up and there was 2 pages. And I remember I was talking to a woman in the door-to-door work, and I opened up the tract and I was showing her the inside of it, and I suddenly had this weird feeling that what I was showing her was completely insane. It was a 7-headed leopard beast with a crazed prostitute riding it, wearing a purple dress, and her face was smeared with blood. She's holding a golden goblet filled with the blood of all these murdered babies and people on Earth. And I had to explain this image to a perfectly innocent bystander standing at a door out of nowhere. And I just realized that if someone showed this to me and I had no idea what it was, I would think that they're totally crazy. And I had that like kind of flash reverse image going. It was just so crazy. The tract, if you read it, the language was so clear. It was, this is it. The end of the world is here. It's gonna probably happen on some crazy date that everyone speculates about. And then I was just like, okay, I'm giving this last days about 6 months. If it doesn't come, I'm a total fool. I've been completely duped into handing this crap out to people at bus stops. And I'm so embarrassed that I was pressured into this as a child. And I will just walk away from it all. Which didn't actually happen that clean and neat. I wish it would have. They want you to do it pretty quick. When you're kind of a teenager, you have to study these questions and the answers and do research, about basic Bible truth and doctrines. And I think that is something that's probably a little bit better than other religions in the respect of infant baptism when you don't even have a choice. And that's one of their big things. That's okay, but they still pressure you to make a huge lifetime commitment at a very young age. When you don't really know that much about the world, really. I mean, what are you, 15, 16? You can't unbaptize. There's no such thing. Your fate is sealed once you're baptized. So I got baptized, and because of that, it screwed me out of any sort of dignified exit to the religion. Schools have this wonderful world they've preserved and built and maintained where everybody's treated in this academically like important way, and it makes you feel amazing to go to school. You feel like you're part of this whole higher life perspective. You are really important when you're in school. Your grades matter. Your attitude matters. You have constructive things that you're doing. It's amazing. It's good for somebody like me who just wanders around paycheck to paycheck. I like it. I hate this street. I just have to show you something. The name of these rolled up seafood things. Oh my God! I'm about to try, and oh my God. Here it goes. It's so good. Oh my God! So, Portland, I don't know, it's a place to live. It's next to mountains and oceans, and how many times did I really take advantage of that? I don't know, enough? You always wonder that when you live somewhere. Did I do all the cool things I could have done? Did I see everything that was awesome? I think I'm okay there. 4 out of 5 stars maybe? Maybe 3 out of 5 stars. I came here because I wanted to go back to school. I just needed it. It was time. I was overdue. I had to take some kind of program. It didn't matter. I had to learn something about something I cared about, and I picked landscaping. It's about creating something. I like that idea of it. Creating a space with interesting plants, with time, with smells, with the rhythm of nature. That's called a heuchera. This is Virginia. This here is called an umbel. It's a passion flower vine on that palm right there. That's a Trachiocarpus fortunii windmill palm. Definitely a pyrocanthus. You don't want to mess with this plant. Look at that thing. Yikes. It's got weapons. Thorns are actually modified leaf tissue, which is really interesting. This plant here is from Africa. It's called a Melianthus major. It's pretty cool. This one is called Sarcococa confusa. It's from the Himalayas. See this? It's called a gumball. It's this fruit and seed of the sweet gum tree, and in Latin it's one of my favorite Latin trees. It's called liquid ambar styraciflua. Pretty cool. It makes these fruits. I learned all about plants because I think they're more fascinating than aliens. They are aliens, really, all around us. They actively protect pedophiles from the law. And that was probably the second biggest reason I left that religion, is because my mom was horribly sexually abused. They create a safe haven for pedophilia, which is weird because you'd think they would just let them, disappear and it would be out of their hands, If the Jehovah's Witnesses were proactive about stopping pedophilia, about acknowledging that it's an incurable thing and reporting it to the authorities and arresting these people and, I don't know, some kind of higher authority taking care of it that's not the Jehovah's Witnesses, my mom could have had a shot, of finding justice or something. I mean, I know once the damage is done, when you're a child, the damage is done, right? But it's the injustice of it that bothered me, that they could be so horrible to her and molest her and her sisters and just be a witness. And he was respected in his congregation. I can't tolerate that in any kind of structure, whether it's religion or government or anything. That type of blatant injustice. That's what happened to my mother, and they pretend it's not even a problem. It's unacceptable, and there's no reason why it has to be that bad there. Is it ready to be recorded?
Yeah.
And she, left the witnesses.
Mm-hmm.
Are you filming me?
Yeah.
No!
Go on, tell me about your ex-witness girlfriend.
She sent me a script for her play. She's doing a whole play on being an ex-witness. And she wrote a script. Opening file. So this is the interview with the elders. So she sits down for an elders meeting. Elder number 1 says a brief prayer. And then elder 2 says, "How long did you spend fornicating on the evening of February the 16th? Elder 3 says, "Do you feel that he pressured you into sexual intercourse?" Elder 4, "Did you use protection?" Elder 1, "What position were you in when you had sex?" Elder 2, "Did he climax?" Elder 3, "When he finished, did he finish inside of you or outside of you?" Elder 4, "Did you plan on having intercourse?" Elder 1, "Did you ever engage in oral intercourse?" Elder 2, "Did he touch you below the waist with his hands?" Elder 3, "Do you feel guilty?" Elder 4, "Were you a virgin prior to this night?" Elder 1, "When do you think your weakness for sin began?" She says, "I'm so sorry. We just had sex once. I feel so guilty. I'm scared that Jehovah will never love me like he used to and destroy me at Armageddon." She cries. "I'm so sorry. Please forgive me." She goes on to be forgiven by Elder 1. And then she says, "Incredible. It was one of the worst performances of my career, and they never doubted it for a second." How could I possibly be expected to live in a cult world like this? I quote Ferris Bueller, "Life moves pretty fast, and if you don't stop and look around, you might miss it." So I have this friend, and he contacts me over years of time. He asks how I'm doing, and then he says, "You don't believe in Jehovah anymore." Very blunt, but you should expect that from me. "Has your reading of God Delusion, which is the book, affected you?"
And he goes on to talk about how my beliefs are incorrect or invalidated. He says all of the fossil evidence supposedly for evolution fits into a boxcar, which I believe is not true at all. Yet hundreds of millions of fossils support the idea of nothing changing with the species. That's a slippery slope right there. This is how I responded. I said, "What seems to be the trouble? I haven't heard from you in years. Suddenly you email me blasting my choice not to believe in invisible spirit life forms. I think it was rude of you, but if you want to talk, I'm open. I can only assume you're having a crisis of faith or doubts, because I'm not supposed to be contacted according to the rules of Jehovah's Witnesses. Are you comfortable talking with me? I guess I deserve an explanation. After all, I sent every witness that mattered to me a full explanation letter of why I left that belief system."
This is a rhododendron. Right here, this is a bug that's doing this. The bugs hatch from this underside vein here, and they come out and they suck all the juices out of these leaves. The chlorophyll. It doesn't really kill the plant, but it kind of just makes it really ugly and awful for a long time. Weakens the plant. I mean, plants have a lot of resilience.
Witnesses seem to associate paradise with fruit, and they think God is so loving because he created these amazing fruits. It's strange, I don't get it, but I wrote in return, I'm actually currently enrolled in school studying horticulture. I wanted to add that almost all of the fruits and vegetables were created by humans. None of them existed in the grocery store form. They were all bred and crossbred and hybridized by humans over thousands of years, mostly in Asia. Witnesses don't like researching anything about that, though. All the wonderful flavors and plants are human ideas come to fruition by using horticultural techniques. Nothing but humans puts food on your table. The irrigation systems, planting, harvesting, breeding, pollinating, transport to markets are completely accomplished by manpower. Jehovah never did anything for our meals. People are always praying to him about that. I don't know. I went on to say, I don't know how or when or where the first cell of life appeared on this planet or in this universe. I'm comfortable not knowing. It's okay. It's okay to live with a little mystery. I might never know what's out there or why the universe exists. And after all, the universe is under no obligation to explain itself to me. I don't feel that conjuring an all-powerful being, loving being, has any relevance to my life.